Hello, dear friends. Welcome. Welcome to our Monday sessions here live on Facebook and YouTube with you. My name is Shane Martin. I am broadcasting from the Spiritist Society of Richmond here in Richmond, Virginia. I hope you're doing very, very well. I welcome you today to our weekly studies. And as customary, we are going to start our studies by reading a message from the book Happy Life by Joana de Angelis through Chico Xavier. These weekly sessions are a moment for us to take time and connect with the higher realms, connect with our mentors, with the mentors of those around us, to the spiritual family that is always around us. So we always encourage you to have a little bottle of water or a big bottle of water so they can infuse the water with molecules that will be beneficial to our health. Then you can drink a little bit of the water at a time throughout the days until your next time. So when you are by yourself or with your families and doing your gospel at home, reading the messages, remember the spirits can always help us. And one way that they do it is by magnetizing the water that we have. So welcome. Today the message is number 141 from Happy Life. Joanna says, measure your emotions carefully. Pretentiousness is always unpleasant, just as unjustifiable aloofness is to blame for many problems in social relations. Pretentiousness is a behavioral disorder, just as aloofness is a symptom of insecurity. Analyze yourself lovingly and sincerely, looking to overcome the fears and anxieties responsible for your behavior. A calm attitude is a sign of self-realization, which will achieve only through prayer, patience, and meditation. In doing so, emotional control is feasible. Dear friends, we will start our session with a prayer from the heart, from my heart to your hearts. And if you are able to, and if it's safe to do so, we encourage you to close your eyes. Take a couple of deep breaths. Bring yourself back to your physical vessel through this lifetime, helping your attention come within and to gather your attention around the topic at hand, eliminating those external stimuli. Dear Mother, Father God, tonight we are deeply thankful for the blessings that we have. We are here today humbly requesting your assistance. We ask you that you allow us to feel the presence of our guardian angels and those spirits who lovingly care for us during this lifetime. May these moments of reflection and study serve as opportunities to help the discarnate friends that are always around us. May we be a vessel of your will on this planet. We ask you that these moments be of healing of both the soul and of the body. May your blessings of love and kindness, God, be spread upon all places on this beautiful earth. We ask you that your mentors, your messengers of light, reach any area on the planet that may be experiencing suffering. Whatever this may be, we ask you that those souls and those hearts be consoled. We ask you for your permission, for your inspiration, and with your protection, we begin our study tonight. And so be it. Welcome. We're going to talk about courage today, dear friends, as we are going through these collective trials that are lived individually by each and every one of us. We're going to discuss the importance of being courageous and of persevering in the good. And we're going to do so by discussing a case in, um, brought to us by our Master Jesus in the book Jesus in the Home. And this book is wonderful, a wonderful resource of stories that Neo Lucy brought to us through the medium Chico Xavier. Our eternal gratitude to those spirits and to the mediums that have brought us this wonderful content. So this will be a case that is seen on chapter 27, and I will be giving you um, parts of the chapter so we can discuss the importance of being courageous regardless of what life brings to us. So I'm going to also invite you, as always, to chat with us. So we are, I am able to see that there are some of us together here, both on Facebook and on YouTube. I am unable to see who you are, though. So if you'd like me to say hi to you, please make sure that you comment. I can see your comments and I can see any questions. And as always, we're always here for you. This is what the Spiritist family and community is all about. So, with no further ado, let's talk about courage. So, we really want to bring you to the settings of these cases. So, I want you to envision yourself seated comfortably in the presence of Jesus. In the book Jesus in the Home by Neo Lucio brings to us that Jesus met nightly in the house of Simon Peter. And sometimes, as you know, Jesus would take refuge in nature. And I would like you to envision yourself, and that's why we put those beautiful pictures out there, courtesy of the Latter-day Saints Church, right? So beautiful talent that brings to us this beautiful view of Jesus and his followers sitting by the Sea of Galilee. And as they are together, can you imagine being in the presence of the Master? And we can always be in his presence because you and I right now are together. Where two are gathered in my name, there I will be. So we can always envision and take that peaceful, calm, and composed attitude around ourselves. So they were gathered together and they were focusing their attention on an interesting discussion. So they were talking, there were people just like you and I, and when they met, they talk about different things. So they were discussing the gifts which haven't blessed souls on the earth when the Lord commented. So they were talking about the things that you and I have at hand today in the physical body, and that the spirits have at hand to help us as they are in the spiritual realm. And then the Lord, in this case Jesus, will patiently comment. So he was kind. He was able to allow them to talk and listen to what they have to say. And he's gonna tell a story. He's gonna tell a story of a man that had merit. This man had merit, had done many good deeds, so he was allowed to ask whatever he wanted. He could ask anything from this angel who was a dispenser of heavenly gifts. So that's the first question that I want to bring your attention. I want us to use the teachings of Spiritism to reflect on our lives. We want to make sure we always bring these teachings to our daily life. So if you could ask anything from God, what would you ask for? I mean, we can ask anything we want from God. In the last chapters of the book Gospel in the Home by Allan Kardec, the spirits bring to us the nature of prayer, the mechanisms of prayer, and how to pray. And there's even examples of prayers if you'd like to just read them with your heart and mind. So in prayer, one of the things that we do is that we ask. If you would ask anything, what would you ask for? And that's what this man is going to do. This man had merit. He was able to ask, and he had this angel at his disposal dispensing these divine gifts. Go ahead and make a list, make a mental or physical list of what the things you would like to ask. There are good for us to ask, like inner peace, calm, comfort, health, right? So the first thing the man asks is for youth. So he wanted to be young and vibrant, and he was granted his wishes. However, he realized that youth has strength and beauty, right? We are vigorous, we're strong, we feel invincible, we can conquer the world, we can use our talents to do so many different things. And youth is always the time where the newly minted body of the spirits that are reincarnating, right? Remember, in Spiritism, we believe that we are immortal souls that live many experiences in the flesh. Therefore, you and I will be coming back and reincarnating on this planet and other planets as needed, as many times as needed for us to evolve. So we'll be young, or we are young. We may be young now. We have strength, we have beauty. And in the Gospel according to Spiritism, chapter 14, honor your father and your mother, the spirits brings to us, that's the time to mold the new soul. The strength and the beauty, the plasticity, the ability to learn, the ability to break away with our habits of the past and bring those new habits to us. However, he realized that strength and beauty, this man with merit, also brought a spiritual inexperience and weakness. And of course, you and I know that youth is fleeting, right? It's very blessed. There's so much potential. Whereas reincarnated souls or reincarnated spirits being souls in Spiritism, in the physical body, you and I will live the vicissitudes of life, which include getting old. So we were young and we will, God willing, live a long life and be old. So he wasn't he experienced youth, he was fine with it, but then he decided that that wasn't fulfilling enough. So he went back to the angel to dispense another gift. And this time he asked for wealth, right? How many of us in the earth also would like to have wealth? Who wouldn't like to have wealth? Because let's think about it. We are in a planet of trials and expiations. And in our world, wealth brings comfort. Wealth brings fulfillment of physical needs, right? We with wealth we can have things, we can have experiences. However, so he was granted his wish and he enjoyed wealth for a long time. Wouldn't you also ask for wealth? Would be all the things sometimes we think about, right? We see rich people. However, wealth is a trial that is much more difficult than poverty, according to the Spirit's book, because it brings a lot of temptations. So he realized, though, he enjoyed it. He realized that having lots of money brought malignant envy in many people, right? We look at people that are in a privileged position. We can look at that and say, I want that for myself. I'm going to work really hard and get it. But there may be a little hint of envy, and then he realized people were coveting what he had. So he became tired, because when you have wealth, what do you have to do? When you have things, you have to take care of the physical things, you have to protect the physical things you have. Then he became tired of protecting his assets, so he went back to the angel and asked for something else. What would you ask for? You already been given youth, tried it out, now you are rich, tried it out, got tired, now he's going to ask for something else. Okay. So next he asked for freedom. He wanted to be free, right? He thought he was free, and he was granted freedom because, remember, he had merit. He was able to. However, what is freedom? If you go to the third part of the Spirit's book, you're going to find the laws, divine laws. There are many of them. There's 10 of them. And one of them is the law of freedom. And that's the first question of that chapter is question 825, that Kardec asked the spirits if there's any situation that will be truly free. And then the spirit's answer is that no, because in a resumed way here, I'm tell you no, because we need one another. There's no any way we during this lifetime, we will be truly free. Remember, we have the law of society. In the law of society, we learn that we are here together in families, in groups, to learn from one another. So this man had freedom. He thought he was free, but then what happened? He was confronted by cruel, unseen demons that pestered him all the time, filling his mind with troubles and temptations. Right? So he became unhappy with his freedom. Remember, this is Jesus telling a story to his disciples as an example, as a teaching aid and tool. So exhausted due to the constant inner conflict that he was leaving, he went back. Guess what? He went back to the angel and asked for more. What else could he ask for? One more gift. Then he asked for power, right? He asked for power. Who doesn't want it to be powerful at some point in this lifetime? In the condition that you and I are in the planet, with very few exceptions, we are still impure spirits, imperfect spirits who are learning. At some point, we wanted to have power. So he was granted his wish. He received his new gift and clothed himself in great authority. However, he realized that authority generates hatred and rebelliousness in lazy and ignorant hearts. When you have authority, you have to put things in place, you have to make decisions, have to take care of folks. And sometimes people are very unhappy with authority, right? When we talk about freedom and power, you and I today live in this collective um, trial of the pandemic. There's a lot of people in power have to make decisions to keep us all safe, and some of us are not happy with those decisions because we want to be free. We want to do whatever we want, and we don't understand that sometimes we do have to abide by the rules. And being rebellious right now in these moments of transition are not the best time to be anywhere near rebelliousness. All right. So what happened to him? He was tormented by the hidden daggers of indiscipline and discord, became unhappy, of course, and he went back to his benefactor and begged him. Now he wants something else. He wasn't happy. He had youth, wealth, freedom, and power, and still didn't make him happy. So he asked for intelligence, said, okay, now I'm going to study, right? So he asked for intelligence, and he was a man of knowledge and learning. He lost the rest of the peace that he once enjoyed because now he realized he knew a lot, but he needed to use his gifts properly. And there were a lot of people around him didn't know, didn't have as much intelligence, and he couldn't change their minds. Right? I'm paraphrasing you, Lucio. Rather than, this is what Jesus says, rather than adopting to his new condition of being happy where he was, this is um, a an invitation for us, wherever we are in the world today, in the future, when you're going to watch this. Let's try to be content with this the current situation that we have, even though that situation may be difficult. So he was smart, and he then went back to the angel and asked for marital bliss. And then remember, the law of society. We are here to come together in families to perhaps work on different things, um, reacquaint, re-meet again the acquaintance of the past, catch ourselves in new webs of life, and atone for our mistakes together. And so Jesus says, satisfied with his new purpose, he found comfort in a wonderful home and created a gracious family. He's like, okay, I'm set now. Now I was young, that didn't make me happy. I had money that tormented me. I wasn't free, and when I had knowledge and intelligence, I was also not satisfied. Now I'm set, right? However, one day death appeared and robbed him of his wife. Poor man. So again, the transitory nature of being on the earth, everything on what we have, you and I have, are going to be passing. One day, sooner than later, we're going to have to say goodbye to the ones we love. We may have said goodbyes to the ones we love. However, knowing that you are a reincarnated soul who will live again and again, as long as many times as necessary, you have this consoling knowledge and faith and belief that you're going to meet again those folks um in another in the spiritual world and in another life. So he that made him anguished. Now he lost his marital bliss. He was anguished. He said, okay, I made a mistake, I want something else. And then he asked for health. Nowadays this is perfect. You see how the spirits come together and they guide us towards addressing a specific topic with a specific tool. And then he asked for health. Nowadays, we wish we could bless the entire earth with health. And remember, we can be healthy or unhealthy, and there are habits. So he enjoyed and he received this gift. So he was healthy. However, a few years had passed. Old age appeared and disfigured his body, deteriorating and wrinkling it without mercy. By this point, in this story, we realize that we also would like to ask for help. However, just as youth, health is passing. You and I are all you and I are most likely going to experience some sort of unhealthy situation in our life, some illness, some loss, some things we have to work on over time. Okay. All right, so he asked for all of this, yet he lost the health. And now he's at home and he asked for, let's review what he asked for and see if we can realize that at some point in our lives we may have asked for the same things. Now, is this list similar to the list that you mentally made at the beginning of the talk when I asked you to make a list of what you would ask of a God? Because a lot of times when we're praying, when we're asking in our daily lives, many of our asks will fall into one of these categories. Okay, so he asked for youth, wealth, freedom, power, intelligence, marital bliss, and health. Some of us have all of these. Some of us may be experiencing some of these aspects. What else would you ask for, right? So he went back, and the angel came to visit him at this time. Remember, the story ends with health. The story ends with his um, old aged body. So now this time, instead of going to the angel comes to him in the story that Jesus is telling. And as the angel asks him, "What else would you like to have?" And he says, "There's nothing else to ask for." And the answer of the angel is that he forgot to ask for courage, the greatest of all gifts, because by being courageous, it gives us enthusiasm and good spirits with which we can carry out the work that we need to do in our daily lives. So if you have courage, healthy or unhealthy, young or old, rich or poor, free or not, single, married, or other, having a lot of knowledge that doesn't have, whatever life brings to us today, we can be courageous and we can be of service, because you and I are here to fulfill a reincarnatory plan that includes fulfilling God's will on this planet. So with courage, you and I can uh, withstand the blows of life when we lose what we had, the fleeting things. But these are things that humanity on the earth asks for. Let these spirits at our levels, imperfect spirits growing. Who knows what kind of asks the superior spirits have? Of course, they might ask for peace, calm, love, knowledge. Right? We can ask for whatever we want to ask. However, we want to make sure we write it down when we asked what we asked, and then we wait, because God may not give us everything that we want, because it may not be the best for us. Although he respects our free will, he respects our decisions to ask and to seek for more. Jesus then, at the end of the story, paused for a few minutes And then, smiling at the small group, he concluded. And I'm going to pause here before the conclusion of Jesus about courage and about all the asks of the man on the story. Because in the beginning, we start with Neo Lucio disclosing to us that Jesus was listening to the conversation. So right now, in the pandemic, where we are physically distant, however, we are still connected. Right now, you and I are connected through the web. We're having a lot of conversations with our friends and family. Are we allowing them to talk? Are we allowing them to express themselves without being armed with an answer, an advice, or an example? So here on this book is wonderful for you to analyze what Jesus is always doing. His body language, his smiles, the things he says. So he paused. He let the disciples take a deep breath, absorb the teachings, because that was his style of teaching, right? He would tell stories and parables. Then he smiled, and then he concluded. See, even a few seconds it may become uncomfortable because we are constantly going. But with the pandemic, with the stay-at-home orders, with all the measures that are bringing ourselves back to our families, our homes, our inner selves, that's because we are lucky we have families and homes to go to. There are brothers and sisters in humanity who do not. So let's take a breath and come back and reevaluate our lives and feel like we have enough. We're content with what we have. New habits. Take the old man out, get the new man in. Youth is beautiful. That's Jesus now. Wealth is pleasing. Freedom is admirable. Power is brilliant. Intelligence is respectable. A blissful marriage is holy. Physical health is blessed. So again, everything that he asked for, Jesus didn't say, no, don't ask for it. He's saying all of these are valid. And these are things that you and I may at some point ask of God to make our lives a little bit more bearable in the physical realm on earth, right? Then Jesus concluded, but if people do not have courage with which to deal with the good and bad things in human life, in order to learn how to stay on the pathway towards God, the temporary gifts of the transitory experience are of little use. So we may be granted everything, anything that you and I want. But if we don't have the courage to undergo any of those experiences, because they're transitory, you can be rich one day, poor another. Because remember, everything that you and I have in gifts are gifts from God. God is granting us those tools, those gifts. God can take it away depending on our needs for this reincarnation. So, youth, health, money, marriage, family, all of that can go away. But if you have courage, if you understand that you're here to fulfill God's will, that you're here with a bigger plan, you're courageous to stay and not quit for the suicide. You're courageous to know that you have the power to be good, to spread the good, to like, to share the good, to quench the evil in people's lives, to pray, to do good deeds. If you can't go out, you can still help humanity with your prayers, with your good thoughts, because we are all in the hands of God. Jesus is the governor of the planet. He and his pleiad of higher spirits are in charge, and he will take care of each and every one of us caringly, lovingly, just as he has always done since the first time he received us in this planet a long time ago. All right? So I hope that this talk has brought to you the importance of being courageous, and always, you are a multimillionary soul. They will reincarnate many times. We are here. This very short experience on the flesh that will be um, enough time that you and I have to fulfill our reincarnatory plan and to work with God, for God, always co-creating with God, as Andrea Luiz brings to us in his books. So I hope that you stay faithful, that you stay strong to help yourself and to help those around you. As always, as a multimillionaire soul, multi-dimensional being, you have a spirit, you have a perispirit, you have a body, you have a mind, you have a physical brain. So if you can, take care of all of those elements. Take care of your psychological needs, take care of your emotional needs, take care of your physical needs, take care of your spiritual needs. And that's what the Gospel at Home can do for you. That's what these sessions together can do for you. When you can be together with the higher spirits, you're feeding your soul, because your soul is what's going to remain. Your spirit's going to remain and will allow you to go through these different experiences in different lifetimes. I see some of you online. Thank you very much, very, very much from the bottom of my heart for your presence here. It's always a pleasure to see. Always, we are here for you. You can always send us a message here on Facebook. You can always go to our website, ssrichmond.org, and search the Spiritist Federation of the country you're in so that you can ask for help. You can find the Spiritist centers that are closer to you. Unfortunately, we're not able to meet in person, but until then, there are many, many places and many, many people doing wonderful works, spreading the good news of our Master Jesus here in the US and all over the world. All right. So I hope you enjoyed. And I'm going to invite you for a final prayer. We always do. We follow the format of the Gospel at Home and of our Spiritist meetings and in physical meetings. We always want to encourage you to have your water for blessings. We encourage you to have a spiritual book for reading. We encourage you to discuss an inspirational message from a book, comment on it, see how it applies to you, and the water and the final prayer at the end. All right. So if you're able to, if safe to do so, I will ask you to join me on a prayer by closing your eyes, taking a couple of deep breaths in, deep breaths out, feeling yourself grounded in the soil of the earth. Dear Lord of life, we are blessed with the opportunity of this lifetime in the physical realm. We yearn for you and for your presence in our lives. We kindly request that your love and your kindness be bestowed upon our lives. We ask you that your love descend from the higher realms and fill our homes, our neighborhoods, our places of worship. We ask you that your messengers of light and love, traveling all throughout the earth, reach each and every soul, each and every discarnate being. May those who are suffering feel your loving embrace, allowing their physical, spiritual bodies to feel your tender love. We trust in you, dear Lord, to guide our path during this lifetime. We ask you that you guide ourselves and our families during these difficult times. We ask you for courage to undergo the trials that are ahead of us. We ask you for strength to undergo the trials and difficulties of the planetary transition. We ask you that your love reach all of those on the earth who have power, all of the heads of states, of the cities, states, and countries of the planet. May we all be inspired by your good messengers. May we all be united as one humanity, evolving and progressing. We ask you for your inspiration to act upon the good deeds we are able to achieve. We ask you for inspiration to apply your teachings to our daily lives, and we strive to learn and to serve you always. With your permission and with your protection, we end this study session, and so be it. Dear friends, thank you so very much for your presence today. We hope to see you again next time, Mondays at 7 p.m., here live from Richmond, the capital of the state of Virginia. Have a wonderful week. Many blessings. See you then.